Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 23 of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast on fingerlakes1.tv and YouTube. Recorded live on Monday evening, May 18th, 2015. I'm your host, Jim Sinicropi, and once again, I'm joined in the studio by my co-host, the Big Easy Bob LaPrade. And Bob, how you doing tonight?
Good, Jim. How you doing?
Not bad. A little hot in the studio, or not a little hot on the course tonight for you. You played
very
lead.
Steamy. Africa hot.
And also joining us in the studio tonight is Rhett Ticconi. You may know him from some previous FL1 Sports productions. Basketball. And we're going to talk golf tonight. Rhett's an avid golfer, plays a lot with us at Seneca Falls, and former member of the Lyons High School golf team.
A long time ago.
Which is relevant because joining us in studio tonight, we also have four-time Wayne County champ, Josh DeSain. How you doing, Josh?
Pretty good yourself.
Great. Thanks for coming in, especially after playing today in the New York State qualifier Section V tournament.
Yep.
And we'll talk all about that and have a nice talk with Josh coming up. We'll also talk about a new indestructible tee that Bobby discovered. We got a discount code for you Vice Golf Ball fans that might make the difference here. A little promo code that might make you to get your first order. We've talked about those balls over the past couple weeks on the podcast. Robert Trent Jones Jr. was at Sodus Bay Heights this weekend, and we'll tell you why. Tons of local golf news and tournament results to report, and my Zen Tip of the week. So let's kick it right off, Josh. You've had a storied high school golf career.
Pretty good one. I'll take that.
Four-time Wayne County champ. I think you were runner-up to the Wayne Hills Club Championship at age 16 a couple years ago.
Yep.
Just have had a fantastic career and played on Saturday in round one of the Section V tournament.
Yep.
And qualified, made the cut, I guess, for the second round, right? Top 20 in ties made it. And then today, I think you finished 16th overall, right?
Yeah.
Something around there.
16th out of the entire Section 5. Tough day. Like he said, it was very hot out, and I just didn't have my A game with me to move on. But it's just another learning experience that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's some days it's there, some days it's not. And tough field, guys.
Yeah.
And there's a 9th grader, or 8th grader, right, from Pittsford Mendon, Will Thompson.
Yeah.
He came in second, and let me see who won that here. I think I got it right here. You probably know. It was Gunnar Doyle took the tournament.
Another great guy. He wins a lot of tournaments as well. Yeah, my coach, Eric Kuhn, said Section 5 is probably the best section of golf throughout the entire New York State. They always win the state tournament.
Well, and a lot of those golfers coming from the Rochester area, produced great players like Jeff Sluman over the years. And a lot of people thinking Will Thompson might be the next PGA Tour quality local golfer.
Yeah.
He's on his way.
Sure.
But certainly a long way to go, only in 8th grade. And then also, and we look at your cards here, Josh, from the 2-round tournament. First 18 was played at Ridgemont. Second 18 at Stafford.
Yep.
Do you have a preference for either one of those courses? They're there every year, right?
I played Mendon my first year. I'm really not a big fan of either of them, to be honest. Stafford, I like Ridgemont a lot better than Stafford. But even though I played better at Stafford.
Do they give a reason why they split the two into two courses?
I really don't know the reason why. I know that they bid on it. A course bids on where they want to have it.
Right.
And that's where it ends up.
It used to be at Oak Hill every now and then.
It was
way back.
That would be a treat, right?
Super-Sectionals last year, where I made it as well, state qualifiers as they call it too, was at Oak Hill West.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You'd think that they would put it on one course and let you play 2 rounds on it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of tough because, you're talking about as a senior or, any year you have one shot to make the state tournament, and it's on a course you don't like, as opposed to a course that you love. It makes a big difference.
And the big thing last year was a lot of those kids at the top of the leaderboard last year were members at Oak Hill too, so they play it mostly every day.
Sure.
Where me, I never played the West course going into that day.
And you see, and it's not like you can just call up and get on, right?
Yeah.
Did they even give you a practice round when it
No.
was there? I mean,
No.
that's tough.
No, not for Super-Sectionals. No, they don't.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about high school golf here in New York State, or even Section 5, that I guess are controversial subjects. For instance, Josh plays for Lyons in the Wayne County League, which is a great league, a lot of great courses and a lot of good players in the Wayne County League, but they play in the spring. Finger Lakes East and West plays their leagues in the fall, but they still have sectionals in the spring. Which is it's just strange because but they do it because they feel you get better matches in the fall, course condition wise. When I was in high school and a member of the Big Blue Golfing Machine at Minders, never lost a match in my high school career. I don't know what it's like to lose a match, a golf match.
You obviously didn't run up against the 90 through 93 Lions team then, did you?
No, well, I graduated in '90, so we would only have one shot. Actually, the league was terrible. No offense, Romulus, South Seneca. Mid Lakes was decent, but we still blew them away. Only because we were consistent, top 6 guys. Like we played Romulus. They had the New York State Junior Amateur on their team, Tim Larson. He would shoot 34, and the next guy would be wearing an Iron Maiden T-shirt and shoot 72, literally, and that was like a generous 72. So Bob knows, he's from the South County.
Yeah, I didn't play golf. Didn't play golf in high school, so.
You're a late bloomer, or a late golfer.
Yeah, very much late.
So yeah, a lot of things about high school golf are kind of weird. And another thing a lot of people say is, don't play golf now in high school. Play baseball or lacrosse. You can play golf your whole life. And I was like, I like baseball and lacrosse, but I'd rather play golf.
Right, yeah.
So
It's the greatest game there is.
sure, at any age.
Absolutely.
That was a decision I had to make, baseball or golf, in 8th grade. I chose golf.
Good
Yeah,
move.
well,
Good for you.
I don't know what kind of baseball player you are, but you're an elite level golfer in terms of high school golf. So, yeah.
It's not a bad basketball player either.
Well, he's 6 or 7, man. He made a 3 every now and then.
Absolutely.
Three-point specialist.
Corner
There
3,
you
buddy.
go.
That was my job.
Well, let's just move away from golf for just a second. You guys went to the Final Four in Glens Falls,
Yeah.
state Final Four, Lions team, and of course we covered a lot of that run, a lot of live games, and
That was fun.
and it was a lot of fun. Rhett and I actually called that game up in Glens Falls, and I was going to ask you, what would be more thrilling, that run with the basketball team or individual run in golf? It's 2 different things.
Yeah, that's tough. The basketball was a great experience. It's just something I'll never forget. But golf is really where my passion is, so that would have meant a lot to me as well if I would have kept on going.
So let's take a look here at the results one more time here. Jake Blondell and Matt LaPaglia were the only other 2 Wayne Finger Lakes golfers that made it this far, made the cut into the second round. Blondell shot 82, LaPaglia shot 83, I think, and neither one of them made the top 9 either. You know those guys, though?
Yeah. I really didn't know him coming up to this week, but we actually had a practice round at Stafford on Thursday, just preparing ourselves just in case we made it. And we all did, and I became friends with them over the past week, pretty much.
Very nice.
Any of those guys going to college to play golf?
LaPaglia is a junior, so he has 1 more year. So I expect big things from him. He's a pretty good player. He hits the ball a long ways. And Blondell is going to Coastal Carolina for I think it's a PGA program to become a PGA professional.
Nice.
Now, I'll get into what your plans are after high school in a bit, but LaPaglia had a 2 today on a par 5, but now he didn't. He had a 3.
No, he had a 3 on a par 5. He had an eagle.
But he didn't putt it, and
No,
he
he
chugged one.
Yeah, he holed it out from probably like 130 yards and just went straight in.
And destroyed the cup. And you had an interesting story about this. You were, a couple groups behind him?
I was 2 groups behind him. There was 1 group that was in front of us.
So what happened when you came up to the hole?
Our entire group all of us hit our balls onto the green. And I wasn't too close to the hole, but they let us chip onto the green, and then they moved the cup before we putted through like 3 feet to the right.
That's insane. That's ridiculous.
It's I don't understand that at all.
They couldn't fix it?
I don't even think they tried, to be honest. They just
So
wanted
what
to
did they
move
do? Were you the only ball on the green at the time?
No, the other two were on it as well.
So
too.
how could they move it and keep it fair for everybody?
I have no clue. All three of us really weren't close. So, I mean, I guess that's the only way, but it still wasn't right in my eyes.
Was your
It
putt
No,
longer or
absolutely not.
shorter after you hit it? After they moved it?
It would have been closer with the other cup.
Sure. Yeah.
So how far did
That's
they move
tough.
it from the cup?
About 3 feet to the right.
That's where my putts go all the time.
You probably would have made that.
I would have made it. I would have made it.
Yeah, that's. I never heard anything like that.
No.
At least let them finish the hole.
Did you get to see the damage on the cup before they moved
I
it?
didn't get to see it, but I was talking to the marker that was marking our group, and he said it wasn't like terrible, that we could have finished it.
Right.
No question. We could have finished it.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's a strange story. I've never heard of that. I've heard of them moving the cup mid-round, but not while their players hitting to the hole or on the green.
Right.
They probably had no idea what to do. They're probably just.
If the cup was that bad, yeah. But
Yeah.
you say, Josh, that one group did come through and play
Yeah.
that hole.
Yep.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, you don't like to have to deal with something like that when you're playing in a round like this.
Yeah.
But so anyways, this was at Stafford. Top 9 move on to the state tournament on May 31st at Robert Trent Jones Golf Course at Cornell. That's a course that you know well, Rhett.
Great track.
And
They do a great job up there. Matt Bond and his staff at RTJ played it quite a few times my last 8 or 9 years. He's a good guy and he does a good job over there. They do a great job with the state tournament.
and it borders the Ithaca Country Club on one hole, which is always
Yeah.
interesting. I played Ithaca. I played Cornell once. I played Ithaca probably 50 times. Well, not 50, maybe 30 times.
We might have
One of
to
my
take a
favorite
road trip.
courses. Yeah, no
Mhm.
doubt. No doubt. So, Josh, let's move off of this weekend's tournament and just ask you some general questions. Like, what got you into golf? What was your earliest golf memory?
It would have to be my dad. Always wanted to go with my dad to go golfing. He would always bring me out. That's where it started.
So he's out there hitting some balls around, and you're just running around the
Yeah.
course, playing in the sand traps. Maybe was it that? Were you that young?
Yeah, I was pretty young. Yeah.
Wanting to drive the cart. and
Yeah.
whatnot, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because Rhett and I were golfing last night with our kids, and Rhett's son Carter, 10 years old. Is that right?
9.
9 years old. You can just tell that he loves it. You can tell he's going to
Very serious.
Yeah, he takes it very seriously out
Right.
there. You know, and the other thing I know is he'll watch us. You know.
Yeah.
And then you'll see him off to the side trying to kind of replicate what he sees. Maybe not the best idea,
Yeah,
Bob.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you might want to watch Dennis or somebody over there.
That's right. but I that's great, and that's really how a lot of
That's where it starts.
kids get their start. They go
Mhm.
out on the course with their dad and kind of fall in love with it that way.
Now,
Absolutely.
how many shots do you have to give your dad now?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah,
A couple.
a couple aside.
Yeah.
Every hole but the par threes. I mean, where's his game at right now?
It's decent. If he, no offense, Dad, he's probably watching this. If
He's busy refereeing too much.
if he got off the tee, he would be a pretty good player, but he struggles getting off the tee.
He does a good job helping out over Wayne Hills, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
So who wins a three-way golf match between you, your dad, and Zach Young, your basketball coach?
Me.
Hands down, not
Wow.
afraid to say
He
it.
didn't
Huh?
have to think about that, did he?
Yeah, well, I've played with Zach too, and that was a loaded question. Okay, who's your favorite PGA golfer?
It's definitely Tiger Woods.
Really?
But it's Tiger Woods and Ricky Fowler are probably tied.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big
Nice.
Ricky Fowler fan. Not because he just won, but just always been a big fan of him. Used to have his clothes when I was younger.
The Puma
Yep.
gear?
Yep.
And you were pretty much probably 9, 10, 11 years old when Tiger was just kind of still in his prime and before it kind of all fell apart.
Yeah.
And what's your thought? You think Tiger's going to come back and win a few more majors? He's not going to catch Nicklaus, right?
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. I've been saying that he is done. He can't. There was something special about the way he putted and the confidence, and it's gone. He doesn't hold anything over any of the other competitors anymore. Matter of fact, he's probably more scared of them than they are of him at this point. So
Nicholas did win one. What was it, like 45?
46. I remember that. I was you were probably weren't born yet, but I was in 9th grade and I watched that.
Right?
Yeah,
86.
1986. Yeah.
Masters.
It was amazing, and highly improbable. You know, that's the thing that made it great. So Nicholas may have won that one in 86 in his 40s, but that was it. And Tiger,
Yeah.
you know.
He's still the oldest major, right? That still holds that number?
Yeah, I think Watson would have
Watson,
blown it
yeah.
away if he just didn't
Yeah.
get unlucky with that
Last
shot.
hybrid on the 18th at the British Open.
Well, it was the putt, too, was tough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but in my mind, Watson hit a perfect shot in there. The most pressure shot you could imagine, and he hits it perfect. And the golf gods say, nope, that's going to hit hard and roll off the back.
All right.
Okay, so looking at your own game, Josh, what's your strength on the golf course?
Strength, well, it wasn't the past 2 rounds. I can tell you that. I struggle chipping, but chipping is usually my strongest point. Putting, so depends on the day, and I usually get off the tee pretty good. My iron game needs some improvement. That's
So you
for
say
sure.
the irons are weakest part of your game, or?
Yeah, I need to get closer to the hole.
Well, that helps, yeah. But a good short game, if you say you're a good chipper, there's almost nothing is invaluable. It takes a little pressure off the irons and a little pressure off the putting.
It does.
Not feeling too good with the putter, or?
I've always been pretty uncomfortable with putter. You know, some days I go out and make everything. Other days I don't. Some days I'm mediocre. And I have a putter from like the 1980s because that's the only thing that really.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Only thing that works with me.
So what's your putter?
It's a Titleist dead center putter.
Oh wow, that is pretty old. I have a Spalding TPM. We saw it on the show.
Whatever feels good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have a putter. You use a putter that's older than you are.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Very cool.
How far you hit it on a drive?
Probably average 265, 270.
You taking it over the creek at Wayne Hills on 9?
I've hit it in a couple times, that's for sure.
It's a good drive.
Yeah.
Rhett tries to bounce it over once in a while.
Bounce it. I mean, I'm trying to roll it, throw it. try to get it 20 yards off the tee sometimes.
So I mentioned earlier that you were runner-up to the club championship at Wayne Hills 2 years ago at age 16. How did that play out down the stretch? Were you 16 years old, a little nervous?
Absolutely. I was playing with a kid that went to St. John Fisher, Joe Feeney, really good player as well. I think I went into the Sunday because it was the Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. I think I was 3 shots up, and he gained that after 9 holes. He was 3 shots up, but it did come down to the last hole. I birdied 16, birdied 17, and then he birdied 18. I had to make a birdie, and he had to make a par to go to a playoff. But just another learning experience, stuff you got to live with and learn from it.
Yeah, well, that's a great attitude. I mean, that's,
for sure.
I've been saying that to myself for 30 years.
Yeah.
But it's true, no doubt. So you mentioned your putter. What else is in the bag?
Driver, I have the Callaway Big Bertha Alpha, last year's model. 3-wood is a Callaway X Hot. Hybrid is one of those Cobras from last year.
What is it, like a 4.345 hybrid?
It's a 3 hybrid, and then my irons 4 through pitching wedge are Mizuno's MP59s.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and wedges. What I have to change is I have 3 different types of wedges. I need to get the same. I have a 48 degree that I never use, so
it's almost the same as a pitching wedge.
Yeah,
48.
It is. So I'm looking to get a 60 degree, and I have a Cleveland 56 and then a Ping 52.
So you're swapping in 2 of those at a time? It sounds like you got about 16 clubs in your bag. That's too sure we didn't just disqualify yourself?
14. That's 14. That's 14.
With all 4 wedges?
3. I don't have a 60.
I
need to get a 60.
Get the 48 out, get the 60 in.
Yeah.
Mm.
There you go.
I needed it this weekend because the greens were just rock.
My 60 degree Vokey is my favorite club and one of my favorite clubs in the bag. It's probably my favorite club. What else do I got here? What you play at Wayne Hills, obviously.
Yep.
What's your favorite hole?
Everybody loves 7.
Sure.
But I think the best looking hole has to be 16. I think 16 is nice. It's a nice hole.
Up on the tee box there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a very nice hole.
It is. The 7 gets all the glory.
Yeah. 17's a great one too. Going up
Yeah.
there.
I love the course. I like almost every hole on that course. But yeah, it seems like all you got to do to get people to talk about your course is put a tee way above a green and call it a par 3. I don't know if you ever played Drumlin's East, but they have a hole like that too. And it's every time you play, you just can't wait to play it.
Right.
It's fun. So, what are your plans after high school? You're a senior on track to graduate?
Yeah. Probably. I'm definitely going to MCC. I was gonna go to I was pretty much sure I was going to St. John Fisher, but then I started thinking financially was the smartest decision because I'm going undecided for a major too.
Sure.
I was gonna go to Fisher undecided, and I was like, it's not worth that money, so I'm going to MCC for the fall.
They have a golf team?
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. The coach actually texted me and said they won the regionals by 22 strokes. So
Nice.
yeah,
It's pretty dominant.
yeah.
They don't want you for the basketball team, though.
I'm gonna stick to golf.
You could always walk though.
You never know when they need a corner 3.
What about, so you're undecided on a major? Any particular fields of you're thinking about?
I was looking at sports management, but I honestly have no clue.
Well, it's probably best not to pick something right yet. Give it some time.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, for sure. What about golf plans going forward?
Like I said, going to MCC, gonna play on their golf team, and I'm either gonna stay there for a year. I'm not sure if I'm gonna graduate, and hope to transfer down south somewhere, so I'd be able to golf, year round too, as well.
Nice.
What about the club champ at Wayne Hills this year? Are you gonna be able to play?
Oh, I don't know. Usually the state junior amateur runs right around that same time. I've been able to play in it the past 2 years, but I still have to qualify for the junior am too, so I should be able to play in it. Yeah.
Well, we'll be rooting for you. Beat some of those older guys.
Full schedule this summer?
Yeah, a lot going on. Gonna try to qualify for the US Am, US Junior Am, New York State men's and junior amateur, and Rochester District Championship. So
Just to let you know, I'm 2-1 in caddying for club champions.
All right.
So,
It's Seneca Falls, yeah.
if you need one.
What happened on that one?
Guy didn't listen to me on hole number 15.
That's true
Wanted to
story.
hit driver.
True story.
Told him to put 5 wood in his hands, and end of story.
Yep.
End of story.
Got to listen to your caddy.
Yep.
So you're playing in all these tournaments. These are big time tournaments. A little different feel than playing in your average stag day or even the club championship.
Yeah.
You get nervous? You get some butterflies?
First tee for sure, but after the first hole, I'm usually pretty good. Once I get past the first hole, it's pretty much all gone from there.
So what do you do when to prepare for one of these events, like leading up to it, the day before, night before, the morning of?
Morning of, go to the range. I usually get like an hour before, get at the golf course an hour before, and go to the range for probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes, then go putt for about 20. And night before, I usually play the day before. And if it's at like a different golf course, Wayne Hills has different sets of tees, so I usually try to play the same length.
Okay.
And just try to get the feel for distance. And at Wayne Hills, like the state am qualifier is at Wayne Hills, and they play from the blue tees, so I'll be playing the blue tees probably the rest of the way up to the qualifier.
Okay. Any other local courses you like? Ever play Seneca Falls? That's where we play.
Never played it.
Well, we'll get you over this summer at
All
least
right.
once. We'll get
Sounds good.
Rhett, yourself, and Coach Young and myself. And if Coach Young's afraid, then we'll have Bob.
Sure. I'll fill in.
He'd probably hit like a 8-iron off of number 1.
Well, the teams
far
will
as
be
he hits
me
it.
and Zach, or me and Josh
Oh,
against
sure,
you
of
and
course.
Zach.
You know,
Then we'll go
Right.
10-5.
We'll let the host take the ringer over here.
But any favorite local courses besides Wayne Hills you like to play?
Greystone's really nice.
Yes.
Um,
See, Jim?
What local you play that in Wayne County League? Who's home
Marion
course?
and Williamson.
Oh, they're
Good
pretty
too,
lucky. That's a
yeah.
nice course.
Sodus is okay. That's decent. Not
Well,
bad.
I love Sodus, but a couple holes
Yeah.
ruin it. You play
Yeah.
the front over there for the matches?
Yeah, but that's where our qualifier was
Oh, okay.
So we played all 18.
What's
like
the whole 4 or 5?
Five.
That's the
5.
straight
Down
90. You go down and straight 90 degree up
with
the
the
hill.
crick down there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If the crick wasn't there, you could hit your driver, and it's a normal hole. But you can't. You have to lay up so far back that you have like 240 downhill lie into the green.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a shot maker's hole, right? You gotta play it just perfect.
Yeah, if you got a 240-yard shot off a downhill lie.
Well, you know what? I'm sure there's a lot of guys that play it fine. You know, they hit it
And
down.
Tom Udo.
Yeah.
13 at Sodus is pretty bad too. It's a par 5. You have to hit like 8 iron off the tee. And then
Oh
you have
yeah,
to-
that is a
then you
crazy
have to hit a
hole.
wedge
Really
and
tight.
then
Yeah,
another
yeah.
wedge.
Yeah,
Really tight.
right. Yeah.
Is number 1 still like on the side of the
Yes,
hill?
that's another hole that they need to redo the green.
Yeah,
I
It's a
believe.
tough start. I
Yeah,
mean, I
it's a-
can't
Yeah,
tell you
it
how
is.
many times I played at Sodus where I've been on the green in 2 and walked off with a bogey or double.
I haven't
Mhm.
played that in
Yeah.
over 20 years, but I just remember that
Yeah.
hole. It's like, what kind of...
Yeah. Well, they
Where was
redid
the
the
fairway?
ninth green, which was even more severe than that, and we'll talk about that in a second. Probably should move ahead forward into the rest of the show, and Josh is going to hang out with us for the rest of the show as we cover some other topics. But before I do that, anybody you want to thank, Josh, in terms of teachers, family, friends?
Definitely have to thank my dad as well as my brother, and then the club pro at Wayne Hills, Tim Phelps. I work for him too. Great guy, and probably have to thank my coach at Lyons, Mr. Kuhn, for dealing with me the past 4 years.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, it sounds like you
guys.
were the, prize stud in his stable.
Mhm.
I noticed that the team didn't win many matches this year.
Not many at all.
But
We
young-
don't have to talk about that.
Young team?
There's 3 seniors, but
Yeah.
the one senior's like started last year, and the rest are young. Yeah,
You're setting a good example for the guys coming up, though.
hopefully.
It's
All right.
good.
a lot
There
of
you go.
times, for whatever reason, high school golf is the one that a lot of people just sign up with because you get to play golf
Sure,
for free,
sure.
and it's just practices usually aren't too demanding.
No.
Mhm.
We got to get it back to the 90-93 team.
Well, 2 years ago,
54-2. I mean, they were on it.
2 years ago we went 2 years ago, I think we went 16-0.
Nice.
But
Well, the Wells Fargo Championship this week, Rory was unstoppable, shooting a third round 61, finishing at 267, edging out Patrick Rogers and Webb Simpson. Well, not really edging him out. He beat him by 7.
Yeah.
He finished 21 under. They were 14 under. You guys get a chance to check out any of that tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rory looked like he was in a coma walking around the golf course. I mean, it was just insane.
Autopilot.
Yeah, it was just. I don't have words to explain what I saw. He is on fire, and I really think at this point he's the U.S. Open favorite.
Yeah. That's some. He was hitting it. What is he averaging? 321 yards of drive. That was first for the week.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing I was thinking about is, when somebody shoots something like this, and if you watch it, it's hard to believe it wasn't like a 57,
Right. Yeah.
But you could take any one of us, maybe even including Josh, but let's say that we can go out there and play that same course, and we can hit every shot exactly like we want. We wouldn't shoot 61. We'd probably
No.
shoot maybe 1 or 2 under, and that's with hitting every shot exactly like we want. I just think that's how hard it is
It's
to
tough.
do.
I'd take
It's
it.
tough.
I'd take an 82 at Quail Hollow.
Yeah. I'll take a 90.
Yeah, anything.
Bob sometimes will take a 90 at Seneca Falls.
Absolutely.
Although, yeah, a nice 36 on the front Sunday morning, right?
Yep.
That was good to see you start turning that around. I'm
Yep.
going the opposite direction. I'm lost a little
Getting
bit. But
closer. Getting closer.
so the PGA Tour moves ahead to the Crown Plaza Invitational at Colonial. Next week's a little Texas swing, staying on the following weekend at the AT&T Byron Nelson at Four Seasons Resort in Irving, Texas. Hey, like the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can click the red button below your player if you're watching on YouTube. You can also click the thumbs up to like this video. We'd appreciate it if you did that. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher.com and on the fingerlakes1.com app at the Android or Apple Store. So, Bob, got a new pick for us this week, so why don't we get right to it?
Sounds good.
Bobby's pick of the week.
A couple weeks ago, we introduced a product made in Germany. That was the Vice Golf Ball. This week, we have another product made in Germany, and that is the Unbreakable Golf Tee. I have one right here in my hands at the moment, and I've played 27 holes with this. I'm pretty sure this is made out of plastic, and most people have found when they come across a golf tee, the plastic golf tees, right? Real flimsy.
Chip
You ever
away
run
at 'em.
across them? Have any of you guys run across some
Yep.
plastic golf tees?
Yeah, sure.
Real flimsy. This thing is not flimsy at all. I mean, you can see I'm putting a little pressure on there. Doesn't break. It's amazing. 27 holes on this golf tee, and it has not broke.
And nor does it look dirty, or I mean, we're in 720 PhD here, but I
Right?
still
Yeah.
can't see.
I mean, there's the tip. I don't know if it'll focus on that right there, but
still
I mean,
pretty sharp.
you can see on the very edge, it's kind of caved in a little bit, but it still holds a golf ball and still performs very well.
Where'd you hear about these things?
You know what? I was browsing Amazon.com, one of my favorite websites. I'm a Prime member there, and I saw this because I was going to order tees. I wanted to order some tees. The tees I got last year, they broke. Every time I hit a tee shot, they broke. And it annoys me. So I found these. They said it was unbreakable. I read the reviews. All the reviews were great. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to order some of these. And I ordered them, got them in this week, and I've tried them, gave them out to a few people, and they're just amazing.
Well, why do they sell them in like 25s in packs if they're so? Why don't they just sell them like one?
That's a great question. Well, have you ever lost a tee after you hit it off the? Well, you're a bad person to ask that question. But after you hit a tee shot with a driver, you know, your tee's going to flip forward. We've all seen that swing shot or the swing vision. You know,
Jack
where it goes
Nicklaus
up,
Golf
yeah.
My Way video. If you ever watch that classic constructional, every tee does the same exact thing. It's amazing. It's
Right.
the most amazing thing about
Right.
that video.
Same spot, up and down.
Yeah, every shot he hits
Well,
the
the-
tee does the same exact thing. It's almost comical.
Right.
That's how you win.
Well, if
18
your
majors.
tees have to be
Yeah.
forward on the tee box, it could go in the rough. You lose it, right?
Sure.
Well, you can hand some out to your friends.
Yeah. Okay. I
Give
get it.
them
I
to
get
your
it. I get it.
friends. Those kind of things.
Now, I really love your pick of the week. Matter of fact, your pick of the week 3 weeks ago was the Vice Golf Ball, and I ordered 3 dozen, and they threw in a couple more for us for mentioning them on the podcast, logoed with the fingerlakes One Sports logo. And I got a deal for you folks that are interested in ordering some Vice Golf Balls. But first, let's just talk about these tees.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Walmart
Mm-hmm.
in April, and I buy 3 bags of 3 1/4 inch wooden clear, not white, just clear tees.
Yeah.
I throw them in the back of my truck, and I take about 8 of them, put them in my pocket before every round, and
Right.
I don't hardly ever pick them up. I pick it up if it happens to be there, but I snap
Right.
them. I don't care. If I don't feel like bending over, I don't pick them up.
Right.
For $12, I got all my tees for the year, and I don't even have to pick any of them up.
Well, I think it's the type of person you are. I'm the one who picks up your tea for you, by the
And
way.
saves them.
I put it in my pocket.
I got to say, I don't think I've paid for a tee in 20 years.
Yes,
You find them, right?
Well, funny story. We had a bunch of buddies. We go on this golf trip every year and go Hilton Head, Jacksonville, West Coast, wherever. But there's this one place, Berkeley Hall. Got the hat on today, actually. Berkeley Hall in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Nicest place. You rent a house right on the course. They have 2 courses there. Beautiful place. Right on the first tee. Big box full of tees.
Yeah, free. Take what you need.
So you take what you need. So then, the houses I mentioned are right on the courses, right? So, later in the evening, after a few drinks, a few adult beverages. You know, kind of fun to see how many teas you can get out of that box and see if there's any in there in the morning. So
Right.
for a few years there, I was stocked up with teas for quite a while. So I think I still have a few.
Implicated yourself
Yeah,
if they happen to be watching.
But they were
down
free
there.
anyway, so it didn't say what time you could take them. It
That's
just
true.
said, hey,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
take as many as you need, and I needed a lot, Josh.
Right.
So I took them.
So Josh, you know where to go for teas.
Yeah, Berkeley Hall.
You like to play them? No, I was going to say Rhett Ticconi.
Well, yeah,
Just ask if he's got plenty.
I'll give you a few.
What you play short tees, long tees? You tee it high with the driver, low?
I use any tee. It really doesn't bother me. Plastic, wooden, tall, short.
How about your driver height? Do you typically?
I really don't have a particular height. You know, it changes.
Just whatever you feel.
Yeah. Sometimes I tee it up really high. Sometimes it's low.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Because you're trying to hit different shots? or-
Yeah. When I tee it low, I usually try hitting a little cut,
Sure.
and higher up is usually more of a draw. Yeah.
So you like to work it both ways based on the...
I try to.
Well, I like to, too. I like to do that a lot. and I
Old school. He was
try.
working the shot.
Well, I think that just you have such a bigger dimension to your game over other
Absolutely.
competitors if you can do that. Some holes you just don't look good for a draw, and sometimes a draw is hard to control. So if you do work it both ways, at least
Yeah.
for me, one of the two is working one day.
It helps too if you're behind a tree, like I am usually. So if you can work it around one of those
Yeah.
trees, makes
Same
sense.
here.
So you hit it on number one at Wayne Hills. You tee it down low and hit like a
Usually
7-iron.
Usually a four iron. Usually
You hit a 4-iron?
4 or 5 iron. Yeah, it gets me right to the past the 150. 4 iron does actually get me pretty far past the 150, but I just try to get in the fairway in that hole.
I hit a driver on that hole, usually into the lake.
So, Bob, you can get these tees at playingpro.com, right?
Playingpro.com. Absolutely. You can get them in 2 1/4, 2 7/8, and 4-inch. That would be your size, Jim. You also can get them in a 50-pack for $29.99 and a 25-pack for $15.99 on Amazon.com.
I go to Walmart, Bob, and I get a like a 200 pack for $3.97.
Yeah, and after 10 years, you're going to be $30 deep. I'm still going to
So you
have
make
this.
your
that
money
one
back
tee.
in 10 years. It's a long-term game.
Now let's see how many rounds you're going to try to use that for.
All right, we'll see. We'll
Try to-
see. I got 27 holes on it now. And, there's a lot of tee aficionados out there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is. Ben Wong is one of them.
Oh, well.
He claims he has tees from 10 years ago that he's still holding on to. I gave him one of these. So he's set. He's set for a long time.
All right. Well, we'll keep a track. Maybe we'll even have a ticker up here in the podcast.
We'll see what happens.
So that's playingpro.com for the Unbreakable Golf Tees, another German product from Bobby.
Yeah, next week we're going to review a brand new product, the Volkswagen Beetle.
Well, I mentioned the Vice golf balls. They are we've talked about it before. Just as good a quality as a Titleist Pro V for half the price.
Yes, they're very good ball.
And
Yeah, I can't say enough about that golf ball.
yeah, so we've talked about it plenty. So if you want to hear about the Vice, go back and listen to last week's episode or the week before where we talk about the Vice golf ball quite a bit. And yeah, I love it. Like I say, I got 5 dozen of them. Or no, you got 1 dozen. I got 4 dozen.
Yep.
And gave a few away as well. But if you want to get your own, you can go to vicegolf.com, type in the promo code fingerlakes. That's all one word, fingerlakes, upon checkout, and you will receive free logoing, which is about an $8 value, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get that up on the screen for you here. Yeah, the promo code fingerlakes at vicegolf.com. They not only have the Pro V level Pro Pluses, but they have a wide range of balls that basically simulate almost any type of ball in the market, hardcover, soft cover, women's balls. And so you can buy yourself a couple dozen and get free logoing. And if you have a logo, you can upload it, or you can just have some words on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's just type in the promo code fingerlakes, and thanks to our friends over at Vice Golf for that special discount only for listeners of the Finger Lakes Golfer podcast. Now, before we move on with local golf news, Rhett bought some golf shoes this week, a couple pair of Nikes,
I did.
and you wore one of them, but you got the one in here. Are those the ones you wore?
Yeah, I wore these yesterday.
So what do you think after? Well, first of all, what are they?
The Nike Lunar Mont Royal. Very comfortable, just like a sneaker shoe. Has the Lunar Lawn cushioning there. A nice green too.
Now show them what I wasn't sold on was the bottom of those.
Yeah, it's almost like those old baseball turf cleats.
Yeah.
But I didn't slip around at all. I mean, it was dry out there, but
Feel okay walking on greens with those things?
Yeah.
Why don't you like it? Because it's not too much difference from your Adidas.
No, the Adidas have the grip more technology. Those are
Right,
like the
yeah.
minis. They're almost like mini
like soft spikes.
Throughout it. But that's more of, like I say,
It's all around. But it was good though when you do turn your foot on your swing. It kind of comes up the side, so it has a little better grip there, so you're not sliding around.
So you didn't feel like any difference between that and a traditional golf shoe?
No, and I've worn this type of sneaker type shoe for a while now. It's much more comfortable. So the lightness, the weight is the big
Those
difference,
things are like incredibly light.
Yeah.
If you hold it, it's lighter than any other golf shoe I've ever seen.
Think about we were talking yesterday. How about the used to basically wear dress shoes on the golf course with those long spikes and
saddle shoes,
click clack everywhere, and
Yep,
it's definitely a different look nowadays.
absolutely.
What do you wear, Josh?
I have some FootJoy DNAs, plastic spikes on the bottom of them.
Nice.
They're pretty. They're all right.
Yeah, we like golf shoes here on the Fingerlakes Golfer Podcast.
Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
I went to purchase the Adidas. What's their new shoe with the softer sole? They're sold out.
I can't remember. I was just talking about them with Dennis.
Yeah, I went to get the BOA version because I'm a big
That's what I'm
fan of
talking about. The
BOAs.
BOA. It's sold out.
Sold out. So I've got to look at the I guess the FootJoy version. I've got an issue.
What
with
about
shoelaces.
the ones that? You don't like the shoelaces,
No,
huh?
I don't. No, I have a mental block looking down and seeing shoelaces. I can't.
Well, these ones came with lime green shoelaces. You want me to loan those out to you?
No.
I can give you those.
The BOA has converted me to not looking at shoelaces. In fact, I have another pair that's similar to that, like that style.
Yeah.
And when I do wear them, I'll take the shoelaces and tuck them in, so I don't.
Didn't
I
know
do.
that about you.
Well, I don't know. It's some kind of mental block I have. So, but I prefer the BOA style.
Well, Josh, you've played Sodus Bay quite a bit. Home course for what schools?
Sodus and North Rose, actually.
Okay, so you're playing there twice a year.
We actually only play once, and we play both those teams while we're there.
Oh, that's right, tri-match.
Yeah, sometimes there's 4 teams at a match.
Yeah, okay. But you, of course, you're well familiar with, and I've played that course 25 times. Used to play in a 2-man there every June. It was a pretty good tournament. A lot of the good players from Rochester would come down for that one. We talked about it off the start, or was this before the show we were talking about it? No, we talked about hole 5 during the show, right?
Yes.
And some of the quirky holes over there at Sodus. Well, one of the worst offenders was the 9th green, par 5, up by the clubhouse, and that's another hole I've been on in regulation plenty of times and walked off with a bogey or worse. With some of the pin placements on that green, you could be literally 6-7 putted if nobody's giving you the putt.
Right.
Well, Robert Trent Jones Jr. last year came up to, that's the son of Robert Trent Jones, who designed Sodus, among others, including Chambers Bay, where the U.S. Open is going to be played next month. Trent Jones Jr. was at Sodus last year to compete in the an annual tournament they have there. It's a Founders Cup, or what's it called? That's not important.
Reserve Cup?
The Reserve Cup, good call. And rained out last year. But while he was there, they were kind of riding around, and he asked some members what they thought about the course that his father designed, and a lot of them said, the 9th hole, just the green's unfair, and he agreed after seeing it, and went into the tap room and sketched out a redesign on paper, and showed it to the members and said, "This is what I do. I'll oversee the project at no charge." Membership raised $45,000.
Wow.
And replaced the green, which opened up this past weekend. Or I don't know if it opened this weekend, but he was there this weekend in Sodus to dedicate it and officially open it. So
Very
I can't
nice.
wait to get over there and play it and see what he did.
I was actually able to see it because they had a temporary green in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is an automatic 2-putt, but it's pretty big now, and it slopes pretty much just back to front, but it's just flat all the way across. So it looked good.
So it's still kind of a little severe, but at least you know what to plan for.
It doesn't have that slope to the right that it had.
Yeah. You could literally hit a perfect wedge that would almost stop, and you'd be like, "Oh, good for me."
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're walking up to the hole,
Yeah.
it just starts rolling away and away and away and
Right.
away and away.
Yeah.
And you can't. It was even to the point where you couldn't even play it below the hole because you might hit it up and it would come back at you, and there was just no way out. You really had to sometimes have a little luck depending on how fast the greens were that day.
Right.
So, but beautiful course up there in Sodus. Love playing it. I like the finishing 18th hole too at that course. I like all the holes except for 5. I don't mind 13 so much, but 5 I don't like. So the New York State Golf Association 4-ball championships were held yesterday and today at Leatherstocking in Cooperstown, and in the men's division. And this is a little 2-man best ball, 4-ball, 2-man best ball. In the men's division, it was Billy Haynes and Jamie Miller taking home a state championship at 16 under. As we look at the leaderboard there, the final leaderboard, pair of 64s. And then in the senior division, we've got Stu Blake and Steve Nazanowicz, 68-67, scoring 9 under. But in a tie for second place, Bob, is Mark Hilwa and Doug Brown. Two
Nice.
guys who've been up here on the podcast that we play with a lot at Seneca Falls. They shot a pair of 68s.
Awesome.
Finished at -8, one shot off the title. And they actually got a nice crystal trophy for that they're bringing back to Seneca Falls.
Doug must have had that side putter rolling.
Yeah.
That, hey, you know what? I didn't even really think about that,
Right.
but he does face-on putting,
Oh, that's
Josh.
right.
I don't know if you ever heard of such a thing.
I saw KJ Choi, I think, did it on the PGA Tour for a little bit. That's the first time I saw it.
Well, the Doug uses the face-on putting method, and
He's
came
using
in.
the Ice Cube putter.
I'm assuming he used it. Yeah,
Yeah, I imagine he did. Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he didn't because he's fully committed to it.
Oh, he's putting great with it from.
Well,
I've
from
seen
the
and heard
second
and-
place finish in a state championship,
Yeah.
I suppose. So,
Sure.
congratulations to the Birdman, Mark Hilwa, and Doug Brown. Central New York PGA last Monday was at Pompey for the Net Pro-Am, won by Mark Tucker, head pro at Casanova with 7 under. And on the 15th last week, that would be what, Friday? I think it was Friday. The Pro Assistants Championship at Elmira Country Club was won by by Elmira Country Club, 7 under. Second place was Onondaga, and that goes back to, like Josh was saying, when the tournament, the Section 5 tournament was at Oak Hill or some of these other courses, you certainly have a home course advantage if that happens to be your home course. So no surprise there to see Elmira win their own tournament. Today they were at the Sun Mountain Classic, the Central New York PGA Pros at Beaver Meadows in Phoenix. And coming up on next Monday, they'll be at this would be next Monday, it'd be the 26th. They probably moved it up a day because of the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a National Car Rental Scratch Pro-Am, and that's at Wayne Hills. So
Nice.
you playing in that?
No.
Actually, that would be a school day probably for you.
Tuesday. Then
26, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Not too many more school days, though.
No.
Still going to school?
I-
Senior year?
I get out pretty
Senior-
early. on
senior
some
privileges?
days. Yeah, senior privileges.
Nice.
Lunchtime. See ya.
Yep.
Hey, May 29th at Timber Banks in Baldwinsville, they're hosting the New York State Open qualifier. Is that any thoughts of giving that one a go?
I never even heard of that, to be
The
honest.
New York
Just
State Open? No, it's more for a lot of club pros playing that, but I've caddied in that actually when it was at Bethpage
Nice.
for Nick Serafino. We qualified and went down to Bethpage
Nice.
before the U.S. Open was ever held at Bethpage.
Timber Banks, you ever played that one?
Yeah, I did. I'd like to
nice,
go
right?
back.
That's
I tell you, it's and Bob, you played it with me, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was me, you, Chuck Ersman, and Bert Hilwa, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
It's a road trip worthy course.
It is.
Nicholas course.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful course. Very severe greens. You think that
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
greens
Yeah.
are Sodus? Every single green at Timberbanks. You ever play
Straight
Timberbanks,
downhill.
Josh?
I haven't.
Yeah, you had a putt that went through an area on a green that I'd never
Shouldn't
seen
be
in my life.
So deep. It was like
Yeah.
a canyon in
Yeah.
the middle of the green.
It was one of the late holes. I remember it was like a
9.
roller coaster.
Well, to be honest with you, every single green is
Pretty
like
severe.
that. Yeah.
He had to putt through what should have been a pot bunker.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
9.
actually went way around it up onto the fringe almost, and it trickled back on. I thought I hit a pretty good putt, but I still left myself about 15
Right,
feet and missed
yeah.
that. So yeah, you're going to 3-putt a few times on
Yeah.
these things, which makes it. I wonder how they would set it up for a New York State Open.
Yeah,
To be honest with
I
you,
agree.
because it's
It's pretty tight too.
it is pretty
Yeah.
tight. Depending
Yeah,
on
it
the
is.
tees you play, I think the further
Mhm.
back you go, there's a lot of opportunity to play target golf there as well. But once you get on the greens, good luck.
Yeah, number 11 at Stafford today. Impossible to putt. It's
Really?
There's like 4 corners where it goes up probably like 5 feet. It was impossible.
And it's frustrating when you're out there because it almost feels like it takes it out of the hands of the players, and you're gonna need a little luck there.
Mm-hmm.
And the type of thing there, if you are lucky enough to 2-putt a hole like that, you feel like you might have picked
Yeah.
up 1 or 2 on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, really severe greens at Timberbanks. Coming up on Friday and Saturday this week, the Rochester District Golf Association Match Play Championships at Ontario Country Club in Ontario. That's Friday, Sunday, through Sunday, 3 days. And the 59th Post Standard Amateur Golf Tournament qualifiers are set for this week. Liverpool Golf and Country Club hosts it tomorrow on Tuesday, Rogues Roost on May 20th, and Pompey on the 21st. The non-exempt players who advance from the qualifier will join the exempt players in the main 72-hole tournament, which begins June 3rd at Cazenovia Country Club and continues on successive days at Beaver Meadows, Cavalry Club, and Drumlins. Hey, the SFCC Scratch Series Spring 3-Man Scramble's coming up this Saturday, $65 a player. Includes golf cart, cash purse, and skins. That's this Saturday at Seneca Falls Country Club, and you can go to SenecaFallsCountryClub.com to find the application there. And really, it's just a phone call to reserve your spot, and you show up and pay the day that you get there. And that's the one of 4 Scratch Series tournaments at Seneca Falls Country Club. The next coming up on June 27th, which is the 2-man. Seneca County House of Concern also has a 4-man scramble coming up at Seneca Falls on Wednesday, June 17th. Just want you to save the date on that one. That's a good cause. Holes in one this week. Michael Chase used a 7-iron to ace the 152-yard 6th hole at Crooked Pines. Rick Hahn aced the 151-yard 4th at Webster Golf Club's West Course using an 8-iron. Sandra Janis used an 8-iron to score a hole-in-one on the 106-yard 12th hole at Sodus Bay. Mike Kennedy aced the 168-yard 2nd hole at Lakeshore using a 5 hybrid. Tim Carter aced the 175-yard 3rd hole at Arrowhead Golf Course using a 6-iron. Send us your hole-in-ones to contact@fingerlakes1.com, subject line FLX golfer, and we'll read them on the air. Josh, have any hole-in-ones?
I had 2.
Wow, 2 before age 18, huh? Where were they?
My dad never counts this one, but it was at a par 3 course in Myrtle Beach, and I was like, they count them on the Masters par 3 course, so.
Was it under the lights?
No, it was during the day. That was when I was really young and really wasn't that good at golf.
Well,
And-
Josh, I hate to tell you, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
And
It does in my book,
the
just
second
I'll
one
go with it.
was at Ridgemont during the New York State Junior Amateur,
Oh, wow.
206 yards. So that was pretty.
Was it a match play?
No, it was
Qualifier?
No, it was a stroke play event.
Hmm.
Had an albatross too last Saturday.
What? Last
Nice.
Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
Where was that? Was
At
that
Wayne Hills.
at Myrtle Beach Par 3 too?
17.
nice,
Yeah.
fantastic,
Where would you
Wow.
drive it to?
I had 200 left. Had 4 iron into the green.
nice.
So you put it over the trap and then
Yeah.
put it up there, rolled it in.
Yeah.
That's just simple, right?
Did you see it go in? You can't. Oh, you did?
Because the pin was in the perfect spot, and you could hear it, too, as well, so it was pretty cool.
Cool.
That's crazy. So what do you value more? You save all those balls? You save all the balls?
I really don't.
You didn't save your hole-in-one ball?
No.
Not the Myrtle Beach one that doesn't count, the one in Ridgemont.
No, I have no clue what that is, to be honest. It doesn't, I mean, it means a lot to me, but it doesn't mean, like...
You got the memory.
That's a sign of a real deal golfer.
It is.
know?
You see it back here. I have 2 hole-in-ones. They're both back there. I say one's a max fly.
I'm just glad that they helped my score.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Yeah.
When I get my
Especially the
hole-in-ones,
albatross.
I just give it to a little kid on the side.
I'm still waiting.
No hole-in-ones for either one of you guys, huh?
No.
Close a couple times.
Never.
Number 15 at Wayne Hills.
Yeah.
I hit the pin and dropped it to an inch, but it didn't go in.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Nope, does not.
Yeah, I got a
nice
couple. I
two.
mentioned I got a couple.
Yes, you did. Yes.
One more than Josh.
He
Well,
said he
the
had
Myrtle
2.
Beach one. though,
Myrtle
you mean-
Beach one
you
doesn't
got-
count.
I think it counts.
I count it.
I
You gotta
count it.
You guys count
How
it.
old were you? 10?
I was
11?
like 10, 9, or
You
10.
gotta
yeah.
count it.
Yeah,
at
you
10.
gotta count it.
I went crazy.
Well, in that case, you know how many hole-in-ones I have at Reese's Dairy Bar? Up at Auburn? Probably like
That's a putt-putt course.
56.
Yeah, that
Well, what's the
doesn't count.
difference?
That doesn't count.
I don't have any albatrosses,
It
though,
was
Josh.
like 100 yards, though, so a little
It's
credit.
legit. Okay, well.
Same way.
If you're hitting it over 30
It was
yards,
probably like
it
a
counts.
9 when I was that
It's
young.
all good.
Well, it is getting late up here tonight, and we wouldn't want to run out of time for our Zen Tip of the Week.
Zen Tip of the Week.
Josh, have you ever seen Caddyshack?
I've seen a good amount of the movie, but last time I seen it, I was pretty young, so I don't remember that much.
Man,
That's your assignment for the week.
Yes, you have to get it on iTunes and download it and watch it.
you really got to watch that as a golfer. Although, I mean, are we getting that old where Caddyshack isn't even appealing anymore? I've seen Caddyshack probably
It's gotta
80
be.
times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was pushing 100 easily.
I mean, almost could recite the thing start to finish.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Greatest Game Ever Played?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Francis,
pretty good.
was that the Francis
Yeah.
Helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good one.
Those are great. I mean, Caddyshack is a comedy, obviously. You ever see
Yeah.
Caddyshack 2?
No, I heard that was awful, though.
That is the worst
Yeah,
movie
it's
ever
not
made.
good.
Definitely top 5 worst ever.
Worst movies of all time.
Yeah.
But Caddyshack 1, you should definitely check it out.
Yep.
You should definitely watch that. This week's Zen Tip of the Week, I want you to avoid the anyways. What I mean by that is when you are trying to choose in between clubs, or you're worried about a hazard, or you're unsure if you're aligned correctly, and you're making adjustments over the ball, and you finally say, I'm just going to hit this one anyways. Or in my case, I say, oh, well, you know, what I can't say probably isn't good with the young ears of Josh, but, you know, I say, like, screw it, or something like that. You know, I'm just going to hit. That's the worst thing you can do. You got to commit to the shot. So you got to be conscious of that. And when you're in that situation, you got to step away, reset, and really, you need to commit to the shot before you start your pre-shot routine. You can't step into the ball wondering things like, I got to give this a little more, or a little less, or I'm going to. There's even times over a shot where I might decide I was going to like play a draw, and like over the ball, I'll change to like a low fade, you know, and it's ridiculous to do it like that. Do you ever do that, Josh? You ever like get over the ball and you just don't feel comfortable? You're like, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm just going to swing.
I do it a lot on putts. You know, I feel like I'm not lined up, and then I try hitting the putt the other way. Every round I have those shots where I'm over the ball and I'm just not comfortable, but I still go for it. And you know, I should probably back off and then get comfortable over it.
And it's something that sounds so easy, you know, but when you're out there in the course, there's other factors involved. Whether you're playing in a tournament like Josh did this weekend and today, where you might feel like you're holding up your playing partners, or you know, whether there's a group behind you in the fairway waiting to hit while you're putting. Or where you just can't take it, you know, there's just stressful. You just want to get it over with.
Just want to get to the clubhouse.
Yeah, it's
hit anything.
It's not the right mindset to be in to hit a golf shot. So the tip this week, it's a short one, is avoid the anyways. Next time you find yourself having some indecision over the ball, step away, decide what you're going to do, and then go at it with a little conviction.
Makes
right?
sense. Yep.
All right. Well, hey, we filled up about an hour here pretty easily with a full studio tonight. Josh, want to thank you again for coming in and wish you best of luck this summer and beyond.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
Appreciate
look
it.
forward to having you over to Seneca Falls at least once this summer. And we'll line that up off the air here. And we'll get Zach over and we'll have some kind of match. Maybe it'll be me, Rhett, and Zach against you.
I think that's probably that makes a lot more sense to me.
And then maybe we can have Bobby. Or no, we'll give you Bobby, and then we'll take us three. Although I shouldn't bust on Bob because he beat me by 9 shots on Sunday. So
Oh, that'll happen.
it must be the tee.
4 of us against Josh. I think he's still right in the middle of that.
Yeah, don't cut yourself short, Rhett. You're a tremendous slouch.
Thank you.
That's a Caddyshack line.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us again for another episode of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast. What are we doing on Memorial Day, Bob?
We're gonna play some golf.
No, I mean like in terms of next Monday, our podcast at 9 o'clock. Are we going to do it on Memorial Day evening, or are we going to take a week off?
That's your call.
Well, let's check your local listings. I have a
Okay.
feeling we'll be back here. I just have too
All right.
much fun.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, like I say, that about does it. We'll be back next week.
Committing, right? No, anyways. You're committing to it?
Well,
You're
I
going
haven't
with it.
stepped into the shot yet. But, yeah. Hope you had a great time hanging out. This was episode 23 of the Finger Lakes Golfer Podcast. We'll see you next time, next Monday night at 9 o'clock. Until then, hit 'em long, not often.
Support great local content like this by becoming a patron of fingerlakes1.com. Visit patreon.com/FL1.
fingerlakes1.com